Lubinsky. Mr. Peterson. All right, very good. Would you put the white binder in front of you? We're just going to go through some documents really quick. For the audience, I told Mr. Peterson I'm going to try to keep this to 20 or 25 minutes, and I'm really going to try really hard. So here goes, but I also don't want to speak too fast. It is late, and I think you and I, Mr. Peterson, might have a fast talking contest. You might win, although I like to win. We're going to give it a shot. Were you first hired as an administrator for the Raymond School District under the 21-23 contract that is set forth in Exhibit 1 in
Yes.
All right. And if you go to the very end page of Exhibit 1, there is an amendment to the contract, and it has a signature date of 3/16/2022. Do you see that?
I think the one you just had me have my eyes on was in section 1.
Hold on. Are you in the white binder? Okay. The very last page of tab 1. Are you with me?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. That addendum was created and added to your 21-22 contract, right?
It was changed. My 2021 contract was amended.
Okay. Do you see how at the top it says amended to administrator contract signed for 2020-21? See that?
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that's in reference to your contract that you signed on 4/20/2021, right? Okay, let's try it. I'm going to try this then. Is the last page of Exhibit 1, I'll use your words, an amendment to your contract?
That's what the title says.
All right. And it was amending the 21-23 contract, correct?
Moving forward,
You know what?
it
I'll
amended
do
the
that.
original contract.
I'll move on. Turn to tab 2. Tab 2 is your employment contract for the school years 22-24, correct?
Correct.
And while your signature is not on this document, you acknowledge and agree that this is the operative contract that you are working under at this time, correct?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, and that's fine. I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page. Tab 3, you will better report. Okay, I promise you I'm not going to go through every section. If I have the gist of your testimony in response to your lawyer's questions, it sounds like you take issue with the conclusions reached by the Bulow Better law firm, correct?
I was surprised to see the investigative report that came after the letter of reprimand with additional details.
But that wasn't my question.
Yep.
Let me try it again. You disagree with the conclusions that were reached in the Bulow Better report, correct?
When I discussed this report with Mr. Childers, we had discussions about how the findings would represent something very different than what I had told the investigator, and how could we proceed with that
but that wasn't my question.
Do
So
I
I-
disagree with it?
Yes.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
I disagree with the findings of this report based on what I provided.
And that is what I understood generally to be saying earlier. I want to ask just a couple more specific questions about some of the allegations. With respect to, and I'll direct you, unfortunately this document is not page 8. So we're going to have to work together on this. Go to the 4th page.
After the tab.
Yep. And I'll orient you to enumerated item 8 that says conclusion, this allegation is substantiated. Are you with me on the page?
I am. Yes.
Okay. The report indicates that as part of that in-service, staff were given bonus points for taking a picture of a student in their swimming pool. I'm going to pause. Did, in fact, your exercise that you developed provide an opportunity for staff to get bonus points for taking a picture of a student in their swimming pool?
All of the activities have different point values.
Okay, but I didn't ask you about the point value. Was there any bonus points available for any staff member who took a picture of a student in their swimming pool?
I don't remember. It's included here. I did have bonus points assigned to different categories in that activity.
Okay. And then that sentence goes on to say there were bonus points available for reading a book to a student in their bedroom or under a tree. Do you see that?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And that was indeed another bonus point, or points available, correct?
By choice.
Yep. And I understand you use the word or, so in a student's bedroom or under a tree, correct? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I didn't make it.
Okay, I'm just going to remind you, Mr. Peterson, you have to wait for Attorney Lubinsky to finish asking the question before answering. That's why she didn't hear your last answer. And just, we're going to be here a long time if you don't answer the actual question that she's presenting. So let's try to keep this moving.
Next sentence reads, Mr. Peterson reported that he expected staff to explain the activity to parents and ask permission before entering their home or taking pictures of their children. However, it is unclear whether these expectations were communicated to and followed by staff. And in fairness, the sentence goes on. Do you see where I read it?
I do.
Did you, in fact, inform staff that they should ask permission before entering any student's home or taking pictures of any students?
I was sending elementary educators.
So you just need to answer my question, yes, sir.
I don't like the narrative that's being created with that.
No, sir, you asked me
Okay,
this hearing.
stop. Ms. Lubinsky. Mr. Peterson, you may not like the question that is being posed. I'm certain that most of the witnesses here tonight were asked a question they didn't like to answer. You have an obligation to answer Attorney Lubinsky's question, even if you don't like the narrative. So please just answer.
Certainly.
Thank you so much.
So my question simply was, did you inform your staff prior to them going out to undertake this activity that they needed to obtain permission before entering a parent permission or guardian or caregiver permission before entering a student's home or taking pictures of a student?
Yes, they were aware these are optional activities.
No, that wasn't, I didn't
Yes.
ask you whether they
Yes.
were. So I want to be very clear. You are on your own. You told your staff that they needed to obtain permission from a parent, guardian, or caregiver before they entered a student's home or before they took pictures of a student, correct?
No.
No, you didn't tell staff that they needed permission.
Using, let's rephrase the question.
Okay. Did you or did you not advise your staff that before they entered the home, that's right, that they needed to obtain permission from a parent, caregiver, or guardian before they entered the student's home or took pictures of a child?
I did not.
Thank you. Still within that report, go a few pages ahead. After item C, the allegation of you informing a teacher about the minor student and the online relationship, I'm just orienting you. Go to the next page to the conclusion, which is enumerated paragraph 4. And I'll just help you. It says conclusion using the preponderance of evidence standard. Are you with me?
Yes.
All right. You've read this report before tonight, right?
Yes.
And you, having read the report, you understand that there was somebody else who had a different version of the story that you had concerning this student, right?
Replaying your question.
Sure, absolutely. Let me try it this way. You would agree that the attorney from Bulow Better who authored this report gave more weight and credibility to another person, I'm trying to avoid just another person's recollection of the conversation than your recollection.
Again, I'm going to object here, you're asking him,
No,
what's what else not, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
You
we've
listen.
misunderstood you. Okay.
You would agree that the attorney who authored the report gave more weight and credibility to the other person's recollection of the conversation than yours, correct?
Yes, it says generally consistent.
Okay. And I can't recall your testimony earlier, so I'm asking you, did you write an augmentation to the Bulow Better report at some point or no?
Yes.
Okay. And in your augmentation, I don't have it, I'm gonna try to big picture it. You expressed presumably the points of the report that you disagree with. Is that fair?
And provided additional documentation.
Got it. Okay. Turn to Exhibit 4 in your white binder. That is your written reprimand. We've heard a lot about that. I'm not going to go through it again. Other than to ask this, did you provide an augmentation to the written reprimand, or was it kind of one and the same?
Can I clarify for you?
Yes, you can.
The first was the report that I did not see until I had an opportunity to see the open records request and an opportunity to augment. I only saw the letter of written reprimand.
And you augmented the letter of written reprimand.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. We're moving on. Turn to Exhibit 5. That is the HYA report. You see the report here is dated February 23, 2023. See that?
Yes.
Did you participate in either individually or as part of a focus group or a small group of people where you met with one or more representatives of HYA?
I had an individual meeting and was instructed not to give any other meetings.
All right. So you alone met with one or maybe more people from HYA?
Just one.
Okay. Were you aware that your staff in your building were meeting either individually or in focus groups, small groups, with representatives from HYA?
Yes.
And, there's been some testimony, I think you said it, some 3 other teachers have said it, that they don't know where this divide is coming from. Did you have an opportunity to read the HYA report after it was authored?
Yes.
All right. And you, in fact, augmented the HYA report as well, right?
Correct.
You disagreed with the HYA report's conclusions. Maybe not every single one, but certainly the ones that reflected upon you, correct?
On a couple levels, yes.
Okay. And ultimately, you would acknowledge that the HYA report
Can you go back to the question you just asked me about the augmentation?
If you need to revise or supplement your answer, absolutely.
Yeah, so the HYA report was released, and then I had an opportunity to augment it. So it was released to the public first.
Got it, okay. The great thing about Exhibit 5 is we have page numbers. Turn to page 1. Bottom right corner. You see the section that says staff split and divided? Yes?
Yes.
And let's just read together the second paragraph. I'll read the first sentence. It appears that there is a large divide between the newer staff and the veteran staff. And it goes on, right?
Yes.
All right. So you disagree with the HYA report's conclusion that there was a divide in the staff. Is that correct?
Disagree.
You disagree with the conclusion that there is a large divide, at least as of February of 2023, there was a large divide between the newer staff and the veteran staff.
My answer will be yes, but you need to know the sample size.
Okay. I didn't ask you about the sample size. We're trying to get through this. Yep. Okay. Did you have any idea prior to the HYA report being released that there was a divide in the staff that you were supervising?
I think I testified earlier today that that was on my plan of improvement, and I sought clarification for that very hard. I looked and questioned people, and someone referenced the HYA report section.
Okay, I'll take responsibility. I think I might have misspoke. Prior to the release of the HYA report, were you aware that your staff, that there was a large divide in your staff?
No.
And as part of tab 5, at the end, we have at least a portion of your augmentation. I know your packet might have all of it, but starting at maybe 5 from the end, you authored a letter that starts, I'm expressing my right pursuant to, and then you reference the state statute, to augment the Hazard Young report, which has been released by the district.
So I have page 5. Then what do I do?
Well, you know what? I'm going to withdraw the question. I'm going to try to move on. So far, I just want to get a picture here. We've got a Bureau Better report that you disagree with. We got an HYA report that you disagree, right?
Yes.
We have a written reprimand that you disagree with, right?
Yes.
And then we get to the annual review, tab 6. You could go there briefly. You did, in fact, receive this, and I believe your testimony was you got this at the same time as the PIP on April 24, 2023, right?
Right.
And you disagree with that as well, right? You disagree with the local review and the PIP, right? Or
I don't think if anybody is discussing goals with you that you disagree with that.
okay, good point.
So I would say no.
All right. Well, you certainly disagree that your performance, your job performance, warranted a plan of improvement, correct?
I don't. I want to know the data behind it.
I want to go back to that question. As you sit here today, you're telling this board that you don't disagree that you should have been put on a plan of improvement.
I don't disagree that my supervisor should provide me goals.
But that wasn't my question. So you keep rephrasing my question. I'm going to keep asking my same question.
Sure.
So I'm going to try to get the foundation. You were placed on a performance improvement plan on or about April 24, 2023, correct?
Right.
And I'll do it more favorably. You don't believe that your performance warranted a PIP, correct?
I think I can always improve.
But that wasn't my question. My question is really simple. Do you believe that your job performance warranted you being placed on a performance improvement plan on or around April 24, 2023?
No.
So, we've now got a third thing to disagree with, right?
No.
We don't?
No, because the HYA report, I said it was the data and the matrices and things. I didn't disagree with the report.
Okay, you disagree with how they went about gathering the data to reach their conclusions? Is that what you're saying?
I think most people would if they dug into it a little bit, yes.
And you also think that the Bureau Better attorney failed to review your data and your evidence, and so that's why he or she reached wrong conclusions, right?
She reviewed my evidence.
Okay. But you still think, despite her reviewing your evidence, that she reached wrong conclusions?
I'm going to object. It's been asked and answered before. The answer
I'll withdraw.
Attorney
No.
Lubinsky.
I'll withdraw.
Thank you.
Yep. Let's talk a little bit about, and I'll do this quickly, but slowly for our reporter. Can you briefly review yourself, tabs 8, 9, and 11? And I'll represent you. There are the 3 reports that Dr. Garvey updated. I tried to hold them together. My question is, did you receive those documents from him?
I did.
One of my,
I'm sorry, clarifying that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to locate that. You pointed out the third one, correct?
I think it's 8, 9, and 11.
No, 11. The last one dated October 2nd, that's the one you're referring to? Yes.
You testified that there were 10 days between your first report that you got from Dr. Garvey and your second report. And that doesn't add up to me, so you must be thinking of days different than I am. And I'll take responsibility for that. But I don't count 10 days between May 25 and May 12.
I'm going to object to the characterization of his answer. He said we have 10 days of working together, I believe.
That's not what he said.
Okay. Rather than arguing about what he said, let's ask Mr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson, what did you mean by 10 days when you were testifying previously about the time between the original PIP and the last update?
I think it was between update 1 and update 2.
I'm sorry, update 1 and update 2.
Update 1 and update 2 was very close together. You had Memorial Day in there as well, which was not a school working day.
So when I wrote it down, you said 10 days between the 2.
I'm pretty sure I said approximately.
Okay. We cannot have people interrupting each other. Again, that's going to be a problem for our record. So, Attorney Lubinsky, are you asking a question?
I am. I was in the middle. When you referred to 10 days, were you referring to school days?
Yes.
Thank you. You talked about a complaint you filed with the district. Would you give me one more time that date of that complaint? It's sometime in the fall. I just honestly didn't write it down.
The demand letter, is that what you're referring to?
All I know is I wrote, you filed a complaint with the district.
A DWD complaint.
Okay. So when you were testifying in your direct to a complaint that was filed, you were referring to the Department of Workforce Development complaint.
Yes.
Okay. You acknowledge that before you strike that, did you file any complaint of discrimination with the Raymond School District or any third-party entity before you filed your complaint?
Complaints.
Let me make sure. I'm only referring to the last few years. I'm not talking about your history ever. Have you, prior to filing your DWD complaint, did you submit to the school district, the school board, or any third party entity any complaint alleging mistreatment by the Raymond schools?
I believe my attorney at the time notified the board that there was going to be a complaint if discrimination did not stop.
When did that notification occur, if you know?
There's a lot of dates here tonight. I have a huge stack of information there.
Let me make it easier on you, sir. I'm going to make it way easier. When you got your written reprimand, you had not made any complaint of discrimination, correct?
The written reprimand is from the Bureau of Veteran report. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, sir. You've only got one written reprimand that I know of.
Yeah. A lot of people confuse evaluations, PIPs, all of that. So just clarifying.
All right. How about this? You had not filed a discrimination complaint or made mention through your attorney or otherwise of filing a complaint when you got a written reprimand following the Bureau of Veteran investigation, correct?
Correct.
You had not filed a complaint or made any reference to filing a complaint when the HYA evaluation and report was done, correct?
Correct.
You had not filed a complaint or made any mention of bringing a complaint when your performance review and your PIP, the April 24th meeting, correct?
Correct.
In fact, you had not yet filed a complaint or mentioned a complaint as of June 12, 2023, correct?
I do believe, I know you want a specific answer, I do believe they're before June 12th. Is that just the question? No.
We're still in the binder. I want to talk to you very briefly about tab 10.